Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Cricket Chat YouTube channel. Today, we just want to discuss matters involving Kenyan cricket. And on our topic today will involve the NPCA League that began on Sunday and the situation of with the umpiring in the country. To discuss that, we've got former national team players. We've got Peter Ongondo, who played for the national cricket team for around 10 years before retiring to get involved in coaching. And also we have Beryl Oyugi, former women's cricket team player, who I won't say she retired, but she stopped playing the game, and currently she's involved in cricket as in media. So to begin with, I'm just going to take you through the what happened over the weekend. We got four matches being played over on Sunday, and match one we got Sikh Union playing Canbis, and in this match Canbis won by 4 wickets. Sikh Union batted first, scoring 134 runs, with the Muhammad Kalyan top scoring with 46, and Himanshu Dixit adding on 20 runs. And Mikunj Pindolia was the best bowler for the home team by picking 4 wickets for 8 runs in 7 overs. And then Canbis new signing Emmanuel Bundi picked 2 wickets for 30 runs. And in reply, Canbis managed to reach the target of 135 for the loss of 6 wickets, with Sachin Budia scoring 37, Hiren Kabaria scoring 32, and Pushpak Kerai adding on 20 runs. Bowling, Himanshu Dixit again had a good time with the ball, picking up 2 wickets for 33 runs. In the match played at Peponi School, we host Stray Lions beat Ruaraka by 169 runs. Stray Lions won the toss and managed to score 263, with the Shem Ngoche scoring 108 from 119 balls, which included 9 fours and 4 sixes. Praveen Mogasati, who opened the batting, put on 57. And in bowling, Ruaraka captain Pushotam Vikaria was the best bowler with 3 for 59, and then Vishil Patel 2 for 58. In reply, Ruaraka's chase didn't have anything to talk about because only they managed 94 runs all out in 44 overs. Number 8 batsman Vishil Patel was the top scorer with 22. In this match, Stray Lions new acquisition Joseph Unyango with the toss of the bowler with 4 wickets for 12 runs. And Shem Ngoche, again, had a very good day, picking up 3 wickets for 13 runs on top of his century. The next match that to me was a surprise is Sir Ali lost by 3 wickets to Kachileva. Here, Kachileva, Sir Ali batted first, scoring 158, with Gurdeep Singh scoring 78 runs. And the other person who got into double figures was Eugene Maneno, another new signing, who scored 14 runs. Hiten Vikaria and Kishore Bandaria picked 3 wickets each, and Raj Budia picked 2 wickets. In reply, the home team just needed 30 overs to reach the target by scoring 159 for 7. Top scorer was Sumit Halai, who scored 54, and Niraj Patel scoring 25. Hiten Vekaria also did well with the bat, scoring 37, not out. Hamza Amir was the best performer with the ball for 2 for 15 in 4 overs. The last match of the day, another one which brought in some shocker, was Ngara beating Nairobi Gymkhana by 93 runs. Gymkhana batted first. Ngara batted first, scoring 1 runs with Nikul Patel top scoring with 55 not out. G.A. Patel adding on 49. Arav Patel was the top bowler for the visitors with 4 for 35. And then Dominic Wesonga, another experienced player in that team in Gymkhana, managed to get 2 for 24 in 5 overs. In reply, the home team could only manage 108 runs with Dominic Wesonga top scoring with 26, Sheisha with 18, and Kavi Dosaja 16. Draj Patel was the main destroyer of the home team with 6 wickets for 24 runs. So that's just a brief of what happened over the weekend. So just to begin, Peter, what do you take of the first week of the event?
Yeah, I think as people are a bit rusty, it went very well. A few guys got the runs on the board. Shem coming back with a century after staying out for long and not training or no games. So I think it's a good knock from Shem. It shows that he's been putting some work in because you can't wake up and score 100. Gurudeep also batted very well at Kachilewa. Remember the last time the Kenya team went out, he was not one of the players, was not picked. I think he's come back strong. I hope the selectors will see what he has done. The rest of the national team players, the so-called national team players, because we don't know the team right now because they have not played for 2 years, didn't really perform well. I watched Eugene didn't even pick a wicket on that day. So I've seen Elijah didn't do much for his team. But I think it's a welcome tournament, league, because our players might go to South Africa for the T20. So the 50 overs is a good way to prepare for that.
Beryl, what is your take on the week 1 of the tournament of the NPCA League?
I'm glad the league is back in the form of NPCA, what it originally was. And on top of what Peter has said, it's good to see a movement in the league, players moving from one club to another. For me, that means that also the league is growing and the players are maturing amongst themselves. Basically, I'm happy to see players from clubs like Obuya have found a home. Sri Lions have picked 2 youngsters in the form of David Mutua and Gerald Mwenda. And players from Congonis, which folded their A team, have also found a home. Martin has gone back to Gymkhana and Dominic. Shem has gone to Sri Lions, and we've seen he started with a bang. So it's good to see that players who don't have a team are not floating in the air. The only person that I'm yet to see has found a club is Harrison Ambani. And he says in the next coming weeks, he may find a team to play for. So we are keeping an eye out on that.
Shem's 100, considering he hasn't been in action for months, but I witnessed that match, and Shem was dropped. She was dropped 5 times. Probably it happens in cricket that if they don't take it, if the opponent don't take their chances, then you can't stop and you keep on going. And it happened that he got a century. Was it something that is it too early to say that Shem is posing himself to become one of the players to watch in this season?
I think it's a century is a good sign. Shem has always been playing a role that all-rounder role in every team he goes. The only thing that he has never been converting is 50s into 100s. So it's a good thing that this time he managed to convert to score 100, because he's a player. When he starts going, he goes for big shots. So I hope he'll learn from that 100 and convert more when the league goes on, because he's been getting out on 20s. He's been hitting 6 and then trying the next ball for 6 again. If he has matured enough to get 100, I think he's a player to watch.
Talking about performance of the day, Shem scored 100, and we had Praveen Kumar adding on 57. But Kumar has been there for some time, and we've not seen him putting on that kind of a performance whereby he's going to be a standout so that people can talk about him. Beryl, you've seen him for about 4 or 5 years. What is his role in Stray Lions this year? What role can he play, considering that now Stray Lions are like big contenders this season?
Actually, Praveen, when he came in during the 2015 season, he was one of the main batsmen for Stray Lions. The other experts went back, and Praveen remained to be. He was supposed to be the batsman that the other batsmen batted around, but he didn't do so well for a while. But I remember also in the South Indian League, he did very well as one of the top batsmen. So for this year, since they've lost Collins, actually the batsmen, I don't see many of them having stayed back at Stray Lions. So for him being there and seeing that he's now opening the batting, he should be their rock at the top. So I expect him to hold that batting order so that the other players can bat around him, because looking at their squad, he's one of the oldest players still remaining in the side. So when Alex comes back and they have Shem, I think they'll form a formidable batting at the top and in the middle.
Roraka's performance dropped a number of catches, and then they started off badly because they lost quite a number of wickets. Because if you look at the score sheet, by the 12th over, they had lost 5 wickets for only 39 runs. And 2 years ago, they looked like contenders. They looked like people that are going to challenge the league. What does that performance of the day, where they lost heavily, say about their chances or their performance coming this season, Peter?
I think Roraka heavily depends on pros, and at the moment the border is locked. What I think also they could have done, they signed Thomas Odoyo and they played him in the B side. But I think they should know that somebody with such experience, I know it'll be a bit slow, but the experience would help them, because he can still bat, he can still face position and bat very well. He did well for their B side. So I think they should, as they wait for the pros to come in, they should at least promote him to A side so they stabilize the betting lineup. Because if you look at their betting lineup, they are all inexperienced players. So I don't think if they don't get the pros, they'll be any better, because they deeply dependent on the pros last season.
Canby's Sikh Union, was it a surprise to you? The results, was it a surprise to you?
Canby's is a side that brought their players up together, and they are very solid. And see, they have added Bundi to their team, and they have Nelo, and they have Gondaria. Canby's is not the easiest team to beat, because in a day, one of the guys picks up and then performs. And you see, in the league, you only need two players to click. And you see they have got all-rounders. So it's not a surprise that they beat Simba easily.
Beryl, in this match again at Eastleigh, Canby's didn't have their top players. Ramesh and Rakev were missing. Does it mean Canby's has a depth that they can even play without their senior players?
Didn't Rakev play? I see he batted down. Now that's a different Rakev.
Yeah, he played, but he didn't bat in the top order.
Yeah, he batted at 8, I think.
So what does? Okay, sorry for
but
that.
Then,
what does that?
Yeah. But then looking at the team, I think he only batted down because it was Simba, and the only person missing maybe is Mepane. And Nelson, yeah, Nelson wasn't there. So if Nelson comes back and you still have Rakep, you have Biren, Pushpak is turning out to be a very good all-rounder. Sachin Budia has shown his strength. I think they're still a formidable team. I will say Candice is the team to beat this season, unless things turn around for teams like Saali, who are the defending champions.
No surprise in Simba's team. They didn't go for any big names, or they just want to build a team, or they're comfortable with how the team has been performing.
Maybe they don't have
This
options.
is Simba, before they became a good team, they had the youngsters, Gurdeep and the brothers.
And the brothers.
They came up together. I think they're trying to do that again. They lost those players to politics, but I think they are now trying to rebuild again from scratch. If you look at their team, they've got very good youngsters, because even in the under-19 that was going to be kept together, we had like 4 players from Simba Union. So I think, and they've got Irongo coaching those young boys every day at Simba, and every Saturday you can find them playing. So in a few days, they'll build a team, because that's what Candice did also with their young players.
Only two double figures at in early batting order. We had a number of players failing to perform on that day and managing only 158 against a team that has been struggling for a while. Kachileva, I remember last year they only won, they didn't even win more than 2 matches. But again, they made Simba favorite, they made Saali favorites, and they banked them, bowling them out of 158. Beryl, what is your take on that now?
Saali have Abdul Rahman, who's a very good batsman, but I think he just needs to rethink his game a little bit. They have Gurdeep at the top. They have Zahid Abbas. Actually, if you look at their squad, probably the top 6 can bat. So they just need to think around their game plan, because if the borders remain closed, they're not going to get their international players back. But with the squad they have, I can't rule them out. They can still win a couple of matches. They have the bowlers to defend for them. So they just need to think about what they have already. If they get the guys that they had last time from outside, they're going to be a better team, but no one knows when that is. The earlier, the better, but still, they can still do something. It's not a bad squad. It was probably just a bad day out for them, but they are not a team to lose to a side like Kachileva.
Peter, Saali, they made some signing. They got Joseph Owino, Eugene Maneno, and Tony Ochieng, and they performed the way they performed today. They performed on Sunday, but according to Beryl, she feels that the team can perform well with the inclusion of professional players. What does that say about this new acquisition? Because you can't bring somebody from as far as from India or Pakistan to come and play, then to join your team and bench him. So that means if they come, Tony, Joseph, and Eugene, chances of playing for that team won't be there. From experience, do you think this is the best way to go, especially for a team that is trying to build by acquiring these 3 players?
I think they betted poorly, because they could have given Gurdeep a stand. He betted very well. He scored 78. In fact, he scored more than half of the score. But what happened to Tony, Joseph, and even Zahid Abbas was they didn't read the pitch very well, because it was a bit wet in the morning, and because of the covers, and it was swinging. They were in a rush. They played one shot too many. If you say they had starts, nobody scored 0. They had starts. And then gave away. And you see, when you get out caught, it means that you just gave away your wicket. Nobody was bowled, or nobody was given a good ball, because I watched that match. So if they don't get serious, because people like Joseph, Tony, they've never played serious cricket. You see, if you play, like when they're playing for Congonis, Tony was also just getting starts and then getting himself out. Eugene, the same, is betting down the order. He's a senior pro. He's a great all-rounder, but he's a very lazy boy, I think. They have to try and make sure that they pick up this year, because there have been players who we talk about, like good talent, upcoming, but people like Joseph, is struggling to get into teams. He has been to Simba, he has been to Somibapa, he's now at Sahali. I think he has to stamp authority and as a player who has got talent. Because if they play well, Sahali won't bring any pros. But if they do that, if they want to be counted, they have to lift their hands up, because they have Jojo Wino, Kamangu also opening the batting, who is also a good prospect. Also in a rush, he played too many shots. So I think the players they have, and they brought in those players to stabilize the team, but they let them down.
Kachileva bowling, what do you say about their bowling? Did they capitalize on the conditions to bowl them, or to bowl their opponents out?
I think it was more of their fielding, which was very good. They bowled in a group, in a cluster, because they had only 2 medium pacers. The rest was spinners, but the fielding was very good, because they didn't drop any catch. And the two of them, like Eugene, was a very good catch. He has struck the ball very well, but it was a diving catch. So I think the fielding backed up the bowling. The bowling was just they just bowled tight lines. There was nothing extraordinary about their bowling, but the fielding backed up very well. They saved a lot of runs and built pressure.
Ngara, Gymkhana. Gymkhana have always looked as a team that they're going to be contenders, but when they step on the field, they produce some results that leave people wondering. They won. They went down heavily, 93 runs to Ngara. Looking at the score sheet, again, there was no good, apart from nobody started well. Nobody gave something to talk about as far as batting is concerned. Are we likely to see the same Gymkhana repeating the same thing this season, Beryl?
Gymkhana, like you said, they always look strong pre-season. They look very strong on paper always. But then when they get to the field, they don't know what happens. And most of the time, you find that they have at least 3 or 4 national team players. But like now, I'm seeing on Sunday, 1, 2, 3, 4, Karan batted at 5, Wesonga at 6. Then you have Lucas at 8 and his brother Martin at 9. I don't see why these players can't bat at the top with Kavi. Maybe it will make things better, and try and make a formidable opening so that they can cover the players coming in the middle. I can't say the team is a slouch, no, because they have all these players who've had a stint in the national team, or at least the A-team side. Kavi was in the under 19 side. He was opening the bowling. He was opening the batting, sorry. He was a wicketkeeper and he was very good. So I expect to see him do better, but Kavi is one of those players who stagnated since under 19. He went to Kenya A, had a few good starts, then he just fizzled out in the middle. Karan was very good for Kenya A, made his way to the national team. Things didn't go so well, but I think at this level, they can do better. Losing to a team like Ngara in the opening match doesn't look so good for them. But looking at them on paper, Gymkhana are actually a very strong side. They have the batsmen. It's a balanced team. They have the batsmen and they have the bowlers. We expect them to do better, but we've seen Gymkhana. So it's just a matter of hoping and waiting for them.
Peter, your team is struggling at 50 for 4, and you've got somebody like Lucas Oluoch in the dressing room. But again, you don't see him coming out. He comes in to bat at number 8. Mm-hmm. Is it something that you are amused about him, or what do you think?
I think Gymkhana players have got to decide if they want to play or they want to coach. You see, the thing is, they have gone too much into coaching. That's why you see they're now trying to give youngsters a chance. They're betting at number 9 to see maybe what their product can do. I think they have to decide if they want to play the game or they want to see the upcoming players bat. Because if you have people batting from 5, Karan, Dominic 6, Lucas 8, and Martin Okoth 9, that's a joke. That's a very big joke. I think that they're trying to bring in youngsters. So are they going to play as coaches and see their product, or are they going to be serious and play cricket? I think they have just to be serious, because if they are serious, it's a very good team. Because the league, if you have 3 players, you have Kavi, you have Karan, and you have Wesonga, and you have Lucas, who's a very good hitter. He can hit the ball far if he wants to. So I think they just have to get serious. But at the moment, they are more into coaching. They want to turn Gymkhana into Starfield. So I think that's why they're going into bet at number 9.
Okay, good observation there. Then the matches were played. We didn't have issues. Off the field, there's no report that's come to us that there were issues on the field. But off the field, we didn't have umpires umpiring the matches. By saying we didn't have umpires, we didn't have the umpires coming from Kenya Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association umpiring the match. And former players were picked, and even understand that current players that didn't have a match were picked to umpire those kind of matches. Peter, understand you saw what happened. Please, probably you can take us through what really led to this.
I think the leadership of cricket in Kenya as a whole has to style up. They should have solved this matter for this. There's a balance that is supposed to be played. But also, when you are in leadership, you should look at the picture. NPCA others or something. But what they have done is come on the table and come up with a payment plan. They come up with a payment plan. So the Players Union leadership also has got hardliners. NPCA also has got a few hardliners. I think we should calm down, come on the table, and make sure that we have empires. It's something that they can solve and make up. But if they have hard stance, then it's going to be very unfortunate, because using players who are in the league is not the right thing to do. It was just done as a stopgap. Imagine if you are playing against countries next week and you are umpiring their game this week, or you are contending to be the top scorer with the player. Maybe you're umpiring a game that the player is just maybe 4 or 5 runs behind. You can give him out. It's not the right thing to do, to use players in the same league to umpire other games. The umpiring union and NPCA leadership should style up and come to the table and make sure that they stop this ego that brings down every game that we are trying to. If we're trying to make cricket better in this country, the leadership brings in their ego. That's why we're in this shit now.
Beryl, your take on the umpires NPCA standoff?
It's very unfortunate that happened, because NPCA announced that the league was coming back over 2 months ago. So if they knew that the umpires were not going to be available, that is something that they would have sorted a very long time ago. They didn't have to wait until 2 days before the league begins or the morning of the match for them to start taking hard stands. It hurts both sides, and we need each other. The players have showed up. Umpires and NPCA just need to sit down and discuss what their issues are so that the game can continue. Because we can't have players umpiring matches for 3-4 weeks. We'll have a case whereby a player is given out and refuses to work. We'll have scenarios whereby players are fighting on the pitch. We'll have scenarios whereby all players walk out of the pitch and say they're not playing because the umpire is being unfair or because the umpire is being unprofessional or something like that. You've just said that we didn't have any reported disputes this first week of the league. But what if next week there's a dispute? Who's going to sit down and discuss that and come up with a solution? These players are only volunteering to umpire. They can't sit down and resolve issues when they are not part of the association. They don't have the mandate to carry out any disciplinary, any disciplinary, So I just hope that the NPCA and the Umpires and Scorers Association can sit down and resolve this. It has happened before, it's not the first time. But let's not say that we can't come to the table. It's been a long time since we had the NPCA League. We can all sit down and come up with a solution so that the matches can continue.
Good. Just to taking you back, we discussed, we spoke about 2 players, David Mutua and Gerald Mwendwa.
Yes.
Finally getting clubs, playing for Stray Lions, and probably we expect maybe 2 or 3 players are going to, from the same club, are going to get a team or we're going to be allowed to join a team. But my concern is a former national team player, Collins Obuya. For 2 years, he hasn't played active club cricket. And as I speak, he's still one of the top batters in the country. He's still somebody who's still going to get a place, work easily in the national team. Do you think it's a high time now that Collins should find a club so that he could still get that match fitness and he could also be fighting for a place in the Hall of Fame of NPCA if it's there?
Amongst the active players, Collins is actually the highest ranked ODI batsman amongst the current active players. So if you say that we are going to play, we are going to go back to the Cricket World Cup Challenge League B, which we are playing maybe next year. Right now we have the NPCA. On what merit are you going to select Collins if he's not playing while we have all these other players who are playing? Because you can't select him based on the past. It's, as you've said, it's a high time we found a home.
Peter?
Yeah, I think Collins has to don't mind. I think it's going into politics, which is not his frontier, because now it's playing into the hands of Buya politics. I think he should see last time he didn't go for Oman, a Kenyan tour because of politics. I think we should stop the politics and play, or retire and go into politics. Because now he's a player who can walk in any club at the moment if he wants to play. I don't think if Collins calls any club now and says he wants to play, anybody will turn him down. You see now he choose to, like last year they refused the Obuya players to play at the youngsters. It's very good to see that they played, Gerard also played, because very good prospect. I hope they let the rest of their players also play, because they've got like Prosper, who's a very good spinner. They should let them join other clubs because they can walk in and play for any club in this league. So Collins should just stop the politics and play cricket.
And probably to our last discussion, Peter, you've been so much involved with the girls' cricket. Is there anything that is going to happen to the girls this season, or the girls are going to be in the cold once again? It has been in the case for the last 4 to 3, 4 to 5 years.
to start supposed to start yesterday. That was the deal they made for Sunday. In fact, we are shopping for uniforms, which were supposed to come tomorrow, and we are starting straight away with 4 teams. 2 clubs have agreed to give us the grounds. Roraka and Sekibapa at the moment have agreed to give us the ground. We are working with Simba also, who says afternoons, Saturdays, we can use their ground. I think it's a good thing, because if we wait for Cricket Kenya, then just play a last minute league, this doesn't help them. And it's going to be a welcome league, because that's one of the reasons that they are missing the qualifiers. So the girls have to pick up and play, because we need a strong league, because what we have been doing is watering down the girls league with a lot of academy players, a lot of girls who just come from cricket. We need to strengthen that. What I urge guys to do is maybe get 4 coaches these teams, so that they play under guidance, and then maybe get support from the rest of the guys, come and watch the league, just to make it a league that can be formidable, like what we have in Uganda, because Uganda bring national team players to their league. So I think we should take it serious, because at the moment the girls have got a chance of going to the World Cup earlier than the boys. So we have to try serious, and we have to make the next players, because we have the same old players that we had 15 years ago. So we need to get fresh blood. We can't get them if they're not playing the league. We can't see. So we have to. The league is strong. They have coaches, and they make it an annual thing, not just this once.
Good news coming, Beryl. What is your take, having been a former player of the team? Is this something that you are looking forward to, that you might come back with that kind of development?
Well, definitely, girls playing the league is a very good thing. I remember when we were performing well and making constant appearances in the Africa qualifiers, we had leagues going all year round. We used to play in the NPCA against the boys, and we even made a semi-final once, and that was a very good thing. And for ladies, I think the biggest thing is finding a concert squad, because there's a time they started playing the league, they started with 4 teams, it shrank to 3, it shrank to 2 teams that played the final. So I hope if we make this something that they know is available during this time every year, they're going to be available for it. The time, maybe because they know it's not a serious thing, they start and you don't even find players to finish the league. But we can do what we used to do before and even make it better, whereby girls play even throughout the year. They are easily available. The girls' league is quite cheaper than the men's. They can play all year round if they want, and that is how you form a formidable team. Like Peter has said, they need new blood, but then you just can't bring new blood and erase all the other old players. They need to play around them, and the only way they play around the senior players is during the league, for starters. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope we can produce a quality league and that we can find a variety of players to infuse into the women's squad. I don't see a reason why we cannot have a senior team, an A team, and age group cricket for women. It's very easy to do for us, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's something that we can achieve.
Yeah, talking about senior players playing against the youngsters. Are you playing, Beryl?
No, I'm not playing.
Are you managing?
Yes, definitely. I think I will give my input, not at the crease.
Okay.
I
I
think
was thinking you'd say you'll bring a team from Homa Bay.
Yeah,
Well, they've got girls cricket.
we've just started, so maybe next year. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Yes.
fingers crossed. So as we close, probably Peter, if you could give us your one player of the week and one promising player from what happened in the league.
Yeah, as I said, Shem, which is the player of the week, was 100. And as I will mention, Gurdeep for a very well struck 78. And player to watch be Joseph Onyango. Like I said, he's a very underrated player, but he works very hard at his game. People will see not only with the ball, because he got 4 wickets this week, even his batting is a very good. In fact, he's an opening batsman. So people should watch out for him because he's a very determined player, and I think he'll do well in this league.
Beryl, you're one player of the week and a player that we should watch out.
Obviously, Shem. Turns are not easy to come by, especially in the NPCA. It's been a while. Player to watch out, I'll say the youngster who picked 6 wickets. Raj Patel.
D.A. Patel.
Yes.
Okay. So, viewers, thank you very much for joining us today in our NPCA League Week 1 review. Hoping to see you this week in a new video. And one of the videos we're going to talk about, we're going to have a discussion with Peris Adiambo, a former women cricket team player who's currently playing for the German, who's currently playing in German. And also we're going to have a preview of NPCA Week 2. Until next time, thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.